Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you want to see more videos like this. Today we'll be doing the part 2 of that first video. What if Forsaken characters had Pokemon types? And I'm doing survivors this time, and of course I'm going to do the bonus ones again. And so first, the reason I'm doing this is, 1, this is a lot of fun to make. 2, I like making ideas. And 3, everyone tells me this was a creative idea. So we're starting off with Sheletsky, which is a normal fighting. He's the owner of Sword Fights on the Heights, so it makes sense. Also, he is a normal person, and I think he would have Steel if there was the third type. But in Guess Theory 7, there's fighting, and the reason why he's fighting is in the lore and in the games, all his moves are like punching, blocking, like just him being in the head of the battle, in the leading the charge, and in the movie, he's constantly fighting. Also, this parallels with Slasher also being fighting, like I said last video. And also, I think this is just a very perfect fit. Next, we have Two Time, which I think is a Dark and Steel, because he has dark vibes, and I think he would sneak around. And also, his knife made from steel, and I think he would be able to go invisible for a turn, and then stab someone in the back, which can make them stunned for a turn. There's lots of possibilities with Two Time. Also, an ablation meter in each battle would be cool. The more he stabs, the more he stacks it up, and then he can revive himself. Next, we have Buildman, which was a very interesting one. Steel and Fairy. You may be asking, why Fairy? This makes sense for 2 reasons. Most of the killers are a dark type, and Buildman being the leader of the admins, I'm pretty sure he should counter the hackers. And also, admins are kind of like a force of magic. Also, because Buildman and John Doe have a very deep connection, and people have made LMSs and stuff with them. I thought, because rock type, I put for John Doe. Fairy is another thing. Also, his Sentry and Dispenser are both made of metal. And if he was in the game, a Pokemon game, I think he would be able to build his sentries, and he can use them to shoot the other opponents, and he can heal himself and others with the dispenser. Now we have Veronica, which is Steel and Lightning, which I meant to put Electric, but yeah. And she's a robot, which perfectly makes sense for the Steel part. And she uses an electric battery, a battery system I think she would also be able to learn flying type moves, going up on the skateboard and bumping into the opponent. And next we have Dusika, which was another easy electric fairy, and same reason as Builderman, fairy. Also, he uses magic in his attacks, and also his attacks use lightning. And I think Dusika would be able to, in double trouble battles, give shields to himself and others. And I think he would use lots of electric type moves, and also some moves that don't really have types. For example, how Ghastly has that move called Lick, and it doesn't have a type. It just says question mark, question mark, question mark. I saw in Pokemon Leaf Green, which I've been playing, and that's why I'm making this video. I think it would kind of be like that. I think Dusika would probably be one of the, a legendary, I think he would be a legendary Pokemon, where you can only catch, one. He would be a legendary. The next one, I wasn't very good with, was Chance. There's not enough, things that would describe Chance. There's no good ones. So I chose Fire, literally just because of the gun. But I think Chance would be an extremely interesting Pokemon. I think when he gets into the battle, he would have to use a coin flip ability, and if he gets and he has to use that to use his gun, and also he can rearrange his health. And I think his gun would be one of the strongest moves in the game. Next we have Noob, which is normal and rock. He's a normal dude. He's basically just a blank slate normal dude. Also, the slate skin would be the rock part. And if he had 3 types, it'd be Ghost. But like I've said before, Ghost doesn't really work. Not Ghost. 3 types doesn't work. And also, it does not fit the design. Ghost would not fit the design at all. I think if Noob would be maybe one of the starters. I think Noob, Shaletsky, and Elliot, like our Forsaken, even though it doesn't really make sense because they're not fire, water, whatever, wouldn't make sense. But now we have Elliot, which is ground and normal. Ground counts as fire, and fire is Cool Kid's type, and it makes sense because he doesn't counter Cool Kid in the game, but like he hates Cool Kid. Also, Rush Hour would be like a ground move where they can dodge. Also, he's like a normal guy. I think if he was in the game, in Double Trouble battles and in normal battles, he would be able to heal himself and others. Also, I think he would have a high evasive rate. Also, like, he'd just be so much... He'd be a pretty cool one. Now we have Poison and Ground for Taff. His bombs look like they would give, like, radiation, and Poison just... I don't know, it just fits kind of like Taff's vibe. Also, his trip wire would be like a ground move, I would say, because it kind of like slows down. I don't really know how to explain it. It just feels like a ground move. Like, it's hard to explain why these fit, but when you just kind of look at it, they fit. You know what I'm saying? Like, comment like if you agree with this. Next, we have 0077, which was a pretty easy one. Fire. This parallels like the Cool Kid with being fire. Also, they did kind of like the same things in the lore. And also, this fits like the phrase like father, like son. For example, like, I'm pretty sure 0077 like blew up and set fires and like burst with the same games Cool Kid did, Natural Disaster Survival, and work at a pizza place. So I think if he was in the game, he'd be able to summon his clones. Once they would attack his clones, it would be like how clone blocking is. But now, next, we have Nosferatu, which is a bonus, which I forgot to include in the last video, but I think he's a dark ghost, because he lives in a Halloween kind of dark manner, and he gives me like ghoul-like vibes, and all his moves are like vampire blood, and fast, dark moves, and I think and vampires are similar to ghosts, which I think ghost type is the next best thing that we can get from being a vampire, like Nosferatu. So yeah, these types do kind of fit. And for the next bonus, I have a skin, Blue Dude. I think he would be water, because he's kind of supposed to be like the opposite of Cool Kid. So water is the best counter to fire. Like, it's the strongest counter to fire. Also, water is blue, which is like, well, not in real life, but like in Minecraft, if you look at it, like online depictions and stuff of water is mostly blue, like blue, light blue, and well, Blue Dude. So another bonus we have is Jane Doe, which is upcoming survivor, which is why I included, which is Fairy and Steel, because she counts as John Doe being rock, which is like the steel, and also she has the axe, and that apparently she's gonna have an axe. Also, Fairy fits her vibe very well, which I think these two types aren't the best, but you got to look at it very, very closely. Now we have my most interesting concept: Stick Master Luke, or the first evolution, Stick Learner Luke. He would be like Eevee, where they can evolve into different types, like how there's different disasters in Natural Disaster Survival. I think there would be Stick Master Luke, which is the flying, which is like the normal Stick Master Luke. Stick Master Frigidus, which instead of the Dominus that he uses, he would use the Dominus Frigidus, which would be like the water type. So that'd be an interesting thing. And Stick Master Infernus being fire. And the reason I put those two is some of the most famous disasters in Natural Disaster Survival. The flood, or like the tsunami thing, which is the water. And I think the Stickmaster Luke obviously has to be included as flying, because literally the balloon, the wings, but I think flying would be a global type. I think Stickmaster Luke would just be like, I don't know, I'm not sure, but Stickmaster and Furnace being fire. In my Stickmaster Luke concepts, I did include a lot of them. Stickmaster and Furnace being fire is like the meteors. Anyway, that's a wrap. This video was lots of fun to make. I hope you guys enjoy these videos, because this is probably going to be the last one of this two-part series. If more characters are released, like I've already done the characters that are most likely to release next, but if you guys have any more suggestions, please, like, just put it in the comments, and feel free to give any suggestion on any video. Put them in the comments and I will reply. Anyway, that's a wrap. I'll see you guys later. I hope you guys liked all those concepts, especially that Stickmaster Luke one, and I'll see you later. Bye.